Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to discuss about some of the top test knocks in the history of cricket. Cricket test innings that stand out as top performances often feature a combination of individual brilliance, situational awareness and the ability to overcome extraordinary odds. Here is an in-depth analysis of some of the greatest test innings ever played, factoring in the context of the match, quality of opposition, the pressure of the situation and personal or team stakes. Watch as we analyze these iconic performances, looking at how these cricketers overcame extraordinary pressure, took on world-class bowlers and changed the course of test matches. From record-breaking knocks to match-saving efforts, these innings have left an indelible mark on the sport. If you like the content, please go like, share and subscribe to my channel. Number 6 on the list of the greatest test knock is Hanif Mohammad 337 versus West Indies at Bridgetown in 1958. Context: this series was between Pakistan and West Indies in 1958. The situation was such that Pakistan had followed on 473 runs behind. This inning was remarkable in all its essence because this was one of the most heroic and marathon innings in cricket history. Hanif Mohammad batted for 970 minutes, which was over 16 hours, to save the match for Pakistan. His 337 remains one of the most epic innings in terms of both mental and physical endurance. Batting for such a long period, Mohammad showed extraordinary concentration and patience. His ability to play marathon on innings, which is a rare trait even in Test cricket, made him a legend. He coming into bat with Pakistan facing a huge deficit. This was an innings of incredible grit. This innings set a precedent for test match saving efforts and inspired future generations of cricketers to play for time and ensure survival when defeat seemed inevitable. So this was one of the most iconic innings in the history of Test cricket, and hence this secures the number 6 spot in our list. Number 5 spot in our list is Inzamam-ul-Haq 329 versus New Zealand at Lahore in 2002. This was the first test between Pakistan and New Zealand. Pakistan was trailing by 170 in the first inning. Because of the Herculean effort by Inzamam-ul-Haq, Pakistan secured the match and managed to draw it against New Zealand. This was the highest individual score by a Pakistani player at the time, and he batted for over 2 days. He faced a disciplined New Zealand attack. His 329 was not just about the volume of runs but also the way he accumulated them under pressure. He had been in a difficult position in the match, trailing on first innings, and Inzamam's knock helped Pakistan avoid defeat. Inzamam's stroke play was aggressive yet controlled. He put pressure on the New Zealand bowlers with powerful drives, cuts and sweeps, dismantling their plans over 2 days. Playing a marathon innings, Inzamam showcased remarkable concentration and mental toughness. While a draw may seem anticlimactic, this innings was a prime example of turning a losing position into one where Pakistan could dictate terms. So, because of the essence and the dominance of this particular inning, this inning is definitely one of the top innings in the history of Test cricket. Inzamam-ul-Haq 329 versus New Zealand secures the number 5 spot in our list. Number 4 spot in our list goes to Sachin Tendulkar 136 versus Pakistan at Chennai in 1999. India was chasing 271 and were 82 for 5 when Tendulkar had walked in. Result of the match was that India had won this match by 12 runs. While India lost this match, Tendulkar's innings is still remembered as one of the finest in Test history. Battling a severe back injury, Tendulkar almost single-handedly took India to victory. His 136 was a masterclass in how to negotiate a lethal bowling attack on a tricky pitch. Tendulkar's dismissal when India was just 17 runs away from victory swung the game Pakistan's way. Pakistan had a world-class bowling lineup with Wasim Akram, Waqar Yunis and Saqlain Mushtaq, and they were almost unplayable on a turning Chennai pitch. Tendulkar was battling intense physical pain throughout his innings. His determination to bat on despite his injury showed immense character. Tendulkar guided the tail much like Brian Lara often did. His ability to play under such intense physical and psychological pressure marks this innings as a masterpiece, even though India had ultimately lost this particular match. Because of the Herculean effort put forward by Sachin Tendulkar and under tremendous pressure and against the quality bowling lineup of Pakistan, this inning definitely deserves one of the top spot in the history of Test cricket knocks. So So Sachin Tendulkar 136 vs Pakistan secures the 4th spot in our list of best test knocks. Now coming to number 3. This is one of the most iconic knocks in the history of test cricket. Ben Stokes 135 not out versus Australia, Headingley 2019 Ashes. This was the third test of the Ashes series. England needed 359 to win, but were 286 for 9 when Stokes started his final stand with Jack Leach. The result of this match was that England had won this match by 1 wicket. This was one of the most remarkable innings. The situation, the intensity, the series, the impact that this innings had was just impeccable. This will be remembered for its sheer audacity and unbelievable finish. Ben Stokes produced one of the most thrilling finishes in Test history, rescuing England from 286 for 9 to chase down a target of 359 with an unbeaten 135. His last wicket partnership of 76 with Jack Leach, who scored just 1 run, was a mix of patience, calculated aggression and sheer brilliance. Stokes played with incredible composure in a do-or-die scenario. He knew when to defend and when to attack, especially against Nathan Lyon and Pat Cummins, two of the world's best bowlers. His innings was a mixture of defensive control, grit and explosive batting. He played strokes all around the wicket, especially powerful cuts and reverse sweeps. England's Ashes hopes depended on this innings and he faced tremendous and enormous pressure from the Australian attack. His handling of the situation, especially with a non-specialist batsman at the other end, made this a legendary effort. This was one of the best test innings that I had personally watched, and this again cemented Ben Stokes' legacy as one of the biggest match winners in modern cricket history. So Ben Stokes 135 not out versus Australia in the Ashes third test in 2019 remains one of the most iconic and forever cherished knocks in the history of Test cricket. Coming to number 2 on the list, it's Brian Lara's 153 not out versus Australia at Barbados. West Indies were chasing 308 to win this particular match. West Indies won this match by 1 wicket because of the remarkable effort by Brian Charles Lara. This innings is often hailed as the finest in the history of Test cricket, considering the immense pressure on Lara and his team. Australia at that time had one of the most formidable bowling lineups in the world with Glenn McGrath, Shane Warne and Jason Gillespie. The West Indies were tethering on the brink of defeat at 105 for 5, but Lara single-handedly carried the team to victory. He shepherded the trail brilliantly and scored a majority of the runs, displaying a masterclass in both attack and defense. Facing McGrath, Vaughan, Gillespie and McGill, who were all in prime form, a crumbling batting order, and it was a do-or-die situation for the West Indies. Lara's ability to manipulate the field and expose gaps while shielding the weaker batsmen were extraordinary. His calmness and precision under immense pressure elevated this knock to legendary status. This was one of the greatest innings that you are ever going to watch in the history of Test cricket. Brian Lara 153 versus Australia. Now the greatest Test knock, the number 1 on the list. VVS Laxman's 281 versus Australia at Kolkata in 2001. India were following on and were 274 runs behind in their second innings. Australia had enforced the follow-on after India were bowled out for just 171 in response to Australia's first innings score of 445. Laxman's innings turned the match on its head as he forced a historic 376-run partnership with Rahul Dravid. His 281 became the highest individual score by an Indian at that time and helped India not only avoid an innings defeat but set Australia a massive target. This innings is credited with changing the course of the match and the series. After this knock, India went on to win the Test as well as the series against an Australian side that featured some of the most iconic and legendary cricketers of this time like Matthew Hayden, Ricky Ponting, Steve Waugh, Adam Gilchrist, Shane Warne, Glenn McGrath. All these legendary players were playing for Australia, and this innings had set the tone for the entire series. He batted for over 10 hours and covered all aspects of shot making. Laxman was a beacon of resilience. His ability to wear down a world-class Australian bowling attack, Vaughan, McGrath, Gillespie on a turning track at Eden Gardens was a display of stamina and technique. Before this innings started, India was in a seemingly hopeless position. Laxman's innings re-energized the team and his stroke play against Vaughan in particular was a lesson in countering spin. So this inning is definitely the top Test inning of all time. That's the end of today's video from our side. Again, to conclude, these innings aren't just numbers or individual feats of skill. They embody the essence of Test cricket: resilience, perseverance, adaptability and mental toughness. The ability to play long innings under challenging conditions, often in a losing position, separates the good from the great. Whether they led to historic victories or gallant defeats, these performances are etched into the fabric of cricket history for the way they inspire teams and fans alike. If you like the content, do subscribe to my channel.